Hello and welcome, Doomloopers, to another episode of the Doomloop Dispatch, the new show that focuses on the worst parts of the San Francisco Bay Area. My name's Kevin L. Jones, and with me whenever possible is
D. Scott Miller.
And tonight we have a reoccurring guest. She's a hit. She's a hero. She is the operational manager from the East Bay Alliance for Sustainable Economy. It is Betty Galbadon. And she was here last time talking about how awesome it was that Concord passed I would say, a very mediocre rent control measure, but it's still something that really helped people. And we're coming back on again because once again, it is endangered. Somebody's trying to take it down. Betty, why don't you take a moment and kind of just lay out the situation for us?
Well, I remember. Thank you for introducing me then and all that. I was here last time talking about like how great it was that we finally had rent control in Concord after 8 years, of going, fighting for, tenant protections here in the city, like many tenants, had been like pushed out of the city, either by rent increases or harassment and, like evictions.
You included.
Mine, yeah, me included. And now, we had we got the rent control and just cause, and it's supposed to be reviewed every year, but it hasn't even been a year. It's been only 10 months. And right now it's up for review again. Last Tuesday, we had the new council member that's just been, he got sworn in last month. He decided to bring it back up. And like I said, it hasn't even been a year. It's been 10 months. And last Tuesday, there was a lot of us tenants and advocates, going there to ask them, why are you bringing this up right now? It took about 10 months for them to hire a hearing officer. So this happened just in October. The ordinance went into effect in April. As you know, it passed in March. Then we had the referendum. We fought the referendum. Real estate people, the real estate people, homeowners, all those people trying to get signatures, they couldn't get them. So we won, the referendum they were trying to file. So it went into effect in April, and like I said, the city took this long to finally have a hearing officer. There's supposed to be a rent registry for landlords to register in there, and that's still something that is still going on. They have until February 28th to register. And we don't understand why all of a sudden, like that quick, they want to review this ordinance when it hasn't been up for that long. There is no data. It's just very concerning that they are, bringing this up right now, especially, what we all know, this economy, eggs are freaking so expensive right now. And for them to even think that we need to review this without it hasn't even been a year, just 10 months, to me is very concerning.
Yes.
Okay, so, you said that there was a new person who's been introduced into the conversation. What's his name or her name? And where do you think they're coming from?
Well, this is a new council member. He got elected in November. His name is Pablo Benavente. He's a new council member. He was sworn in, I think, December 14th, I believe. So he's only been in office, just a month, a little bit more than a month. And he is the one that decided to bring this up right at this moment. I guess I'm gonna keep reading myself, but it is 10 months.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah. And did he give any sign when he was running for city council that this was his plan? Did he ever signal that he had an issue with the rent control ordinance?
I never heard him talking about anything like that. Like if he was like for rent control and just cause. But to me, it's, again, I guess it's concerning because for I feel like this time that not just him, but the whole city council for 8 years sat there and heard stories after story of tenants needing these protections of, rent control, that rents were going up so much. I myself, received the $400 rent increase. This is back in 2016. And then so many other tenants were getting, rent increases and, evictions that now evictions like owners move in or like rentals, supposedly moving out of the, getting out of the market, and just to come to find out that those were not true. They were just painting the walls and renting that unit for more money. So all these years we have stories of tenants telling the city council this is happening, we need something. People are getting pushed out, seniors, young people that still like college students that right now they're going back to their parents' house because they cannot afford to live on their own. So for me, like after 8 years of not just Pablo Benavente at this point, I know he's the one that bringing this up right now, but for the whole council to sit there for 8 years to listen to all the stories, and then now to throw all that out of the window and then say, oh, we're just listening to this real estate people and other lobbies, to crying about like they're not making enough money when this hasn't even been in effect for 1 year.
But it's so strange to me. I mean, I have to say, I'm absolutely like mystified about the process. I'm mystified about this because the thing is like what happened when the initial rent control thing passed. The vote was something like 7-4 or something like that. Is that correct? Was that vote?
It was 4-1.
4-1. Okay, so like what's being said here is like you've gotten a new member into the council. Who's flipping? Like who? Like
question.
Who's flipping? Who do you think is going to flip to his side? Because that vote, the last vote was so overwhelming. Who are those people?
At this point, I think it's him. It could be also the other council member, Carlin. She is the one. She was the fourth vote on this one. But then again, they didn't decide anything last on Tuesday. They're gonna bring this up on the 25th. So it's 2 weeks from, a week and a half from now.
Yeah.
And then that's when. Well, we're not gonna have any chance to go there and then do like any public comments at all. They're just gonna
Wait, so you have you have turncoats, right? That's what I'm hearing is like you have turncoats, right? I mean, like I'm gonna let Kevin speak for a second, but I've been very intrigued by this story. Like Kevin shared it with me a while back, and so I dug deep. I mean, I just don't understand how something that was overwhelmingly voted for is now in jeopardy by the presence of just one person, right? Like,
yeah.
How is like so basically what's happened is that there was somebody in the original agreement who didn't really agree with the agreement. Like, I mean, like that like I would really like to understand like how it's in jeopardy when it was so overwhelmingly voted for previously. And this one person comes in and where's his money coming from? Is he like what are you picking up from him where he can actually influence this vote to actually even be 50-50 when it was so overwhelming in the first place?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, I feel like it's corporate landlords, real estate also involved in this. And a lot of homeowners are misinformed also of the the ordinance, the rent control and just cause ordinance. For some reason, they bringing up, it was just so funny, like in the meeting this Tuesday that just passed. Last week. I don't even know what day it is right now. So it's like it's been so much. But they were just talking about scenarios, like weird, like hypothetical scenarios of like natural disasters, and do I have to pay tenants this much money if like the Martians come down and they take me. It was just like so weird and bizarre. Like, why are you making up the scenarios? I mean, you're not even a landlord. Why are you even bringing this up? So I feel like these corporate landlords and lobbyists and real estate people are really putting all this misinformation to homeowners they're not even landlords. They probably only have one property there. They actually bringing this misinformation to them, thinking that they're never going to be able to rent their homes. And to be honest with you, this tenant protections, if you're a good landlord, you don't even have to worry about this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
if it's a new unit, I mean, this is for stuff built before 1995. This is not single family homes either.
It's not. No.
It's not.
It doesn't cover single family homes neither.
Yeah.
So for them to bring this up, and it's just like really, I just don't understand. I don't understand what's going on.
Okay, the other thing I was really interested in was, like I said, I dug really deep on this one. And like, I noticed there was I gotta get my phone out for this because I actually saved an image of it. Like there's a newspaper, and I forget what it's called. Maybe you can help me with it. It's like, but this newspaper actually has, like, it's mostly paid for by landlords. It's mostly paid for by real estate agents. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And it's followed this story as incredibly closely. I mean, like it closely in a way that the only people who have followed this closely are the people who are making the story. So where do you think that people are getting the misinformation from locally? Like, this is something that really is a very stratified situation. It's only happening in a very small place. Where are they getting that misinformation? Is it happening on Twitter, on Facebook, word of mouth? Like, who's paying for the misinformation? I mean, because we are experiencing the same thing on a much larger scale. So I like the fact that this is a microcosm of what we're all going through, right? Yeah. So what's your take with your feet on the ground? What's your take?
There. At the beginning, like for example, for the referendum, we noticed that a lot of these people were getting that information on Nextdoor. I think that's an app, right?
Oh, yeah, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, they were putting all this information there in Nextdoor, I'm sorry. And I didn't see anybody on TikTok because most of them were like really, I'm already old, but this ones are older people. They were not on TikTok. So they were putting that information there, and a lot of people that are on Nextdoor, they're homeowners or like older people too, and then that's how they were getting the misinformation. Facebook, I didn't see much, but there is a group on Facebook too, but that came out after recently. Maybe
they created a Facebook group for this.
Yeah.
Exclusively for this,
It was not. I'm sorry. Let me take that back because it was not for this right now. For the ordinance, it was for the affordable housing. Housing, yeah. The rezoning. There was another group of people talking about that, but it was not about the ordinance. So I'll take that back. But what we noticed, it was Nextdoor. People were getting that Nextdoor.
And I have experience with how they can use Nextdoor to push false information. And I mean, literally, so I worked on a measure here in Berkeley that was just about paving the roads. And we were up against a thing that was going to double the cost what we were going to raise. And it was going to use it just for gentrifying purposes, basically. And any post, it would be so, bland. Hey, we're doing this. Hey, what do you think about this? And just swarmed. Every time, just swarmed. It's definitely Nextdoor, because I especially think too the demographic that uses Nextdoor are usually much older. They're the kind of people that are thinking about like, oh, I see, a sketchy person over there. Did anyone else see this? It's like that kind of stuff. And so it's because of that kind of community that they're really focused on that. And then, oh, no worries. Love it. But yeah, so that's the thing. So, when you search for Concord rent control on Google, the first thing that pops up is the whole story from the California Apartment Association
Wow.
about it. It's the top. It's right at the top, you know, and it's from it's like February last year. But that is the first thing. So of course they're paying for it, but they are so aggressive, especially in this story. Actually, I'll share it with you because people should see this. This is how kind of ridiculous this is. It's, you know, right here, and it's by a marketing communications director, but they're just so against this, even though it's just about, you know, they're against just cause eviction provisions because they prevent rent, you know, they protect renters, you know, they're pointing out all the good things, and then they're trying to say that it's a bad thing. Like they're saying, well, you know, this report shows that 94% of tenancy and terminations were voluntary, not eviction. So what? That is still 6% of people that really need these protections. And they're trying to say it's only 18,000 people. 18,000 units. That's a ton. That's a ton for a city like Concord, you know?
And for them to say, it's just so funny that I'm reading this right now because they're saying it's voluntary. Before we have the tenant protections like just cause, because again, rent controls does not cover, you know, single family homes. Just for that, they could give you a 60-day notice, right? This is like without having just cause. They could give you a 60-day notice and say, you know what, I'm going to move in.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to give you a reason. First of all, they don't have to give you a reason to kick you out. All they have to do is give you a 60-day notice, and people don't fight it. They just move out. They find another place because, you know, they just feel like they need to. A lot of people, they actually think that the police is going to come or the sheriffs are going to come and they're going to kick them out. So they just decide to move before any of these things happen. And even talking about court, people are so scared to even go to court because it's so intimidating to go there. You know, all you see is you go to court, you see all this, you know, sheriffs or whatever you call them, you know, the ones that are in the court, and then people in suits, you know, like with their suitcases, you know, and they come to you and then they just trying to negotiate with you, like, when are you moving out? kind of thing. You know, it's really intimidating. You don't know, there is nowhere to go. And then just to fill out a form, you know, for if you get an unlawful detainer, it's really hard. So people decide to move out. So for them to say it's voluntary, yes, because they're scared. They don't have no other options, and there's no tenant protections. Now with this, you know, having just cause, they have to give you a reason of why they're kicking you out. And like I said, all these landlords, not a lot, I'm not saying all of them, but that, like I said before, these protections were put there because of those bad landlords. Right?
Yeah.
Taking people out, using loopholes like the move-ins. Like my nephew is gonna come here, and he's gonna stay there, or I'm just gonna take the property off the market. And you know for a fact that they don't do that. Right? They're just gonna go ahead and, like I said, they're gonna paint the walls, and it happened to me. I've seen it. It's not like I'm making shit up. And that's what makes me more upset. Like I've seen people going through that, you know. I mean, I got kicked out. I was given a 60-day notice because I spoke up and I got my neighbors to organize. And just because of that, I got retaliated against, and I got a 60-day notice. I was not going to sit there and wait until, you know, there was no protections and there was nothing protecting me. So I had to move out. And people don't understand that. It's not like it's voluntary. You have no other choice but to move out.
Yeah.
And now that we have this just cause for single family homes, if in reality, if they're gonna move someone in, then they have to help you at least for the move out, which is 2 months plus the moving expenses, because people don't realize you have to spend days looking for another place, and that could be working hours. If you're a single parent, that's going to be really hard on you. If you're the only person working in your home, that's going to be really hard for you. So at least this is going to help them to find another place, because right now it's so hard. And even then, right now they ask for so many requirements for you to rent another place. So
on top of money too, on top of all the money, you know, you were talking last time, I think you were saying you need to have at least like 8,000 to move in somewhere, right? Is it about that?
I just moved to this new place, and it took me, it was probably around that, like $8,000.
That's insane.
And I'm not living alone. I mean, I have to have a roommate. My roommate right now is my mom. But if I want to like move out on my own when my daughter, I can't do that. I just can't.
Right. That's
It's
real
too
talk.
expensive.
That's real talk.
Yes, and they wonder why we have a housing issue. We have a homeless crisis in the state. It's because, I mean, something as small as this, and let's be clear, I mean, this only applies to units built before 1995, so nowhere close to being new. You know, I mean, seriously, in a city of hundreds of thousands of people, this is less than 20,000 units, but it's such a issue for the bigger picture, for the California Apartments Association, that they have to snuff it out now. And it's clear because obviously they're pushing for something, because it's clear with the referendum not being able to get enough signatures as all. I mean, and they had paid signature gatherers, Scott, on who, as Betty found out, some of them would lie about what the signatures they were gathering for. They would actually say, we're gathering signatures for rent control. And she was like, what? What do you mean?
And that's the thing I'm finding really fascinating about what's going on here, because the stakes are so absolutely low. You know, it's not like these are revolutionary agendas that are being introduced here. You know what I mean? But I find it interesting that they're trying to set some kind of weird precedent in Concord, of all places. They're trying to set a precedent.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and the thing is like, that's what they do. But I find it really interesting. Now, to be honest about it, I don't think that the what's his name? What's his last name?
Benavente.
Benavente. Yeah, I think Benavente got maybe $10,000 from the wealthy landlords, right? So I'm like, oh, they promised him something on the back end. You know what I mean? He's got a little piece of land coming his way once this is done, right? Because he hasn't been given a whole lot of money, right?
Yeah. Or at least that could be traced back to that one company.
Yeah, exactly. It was $10,000 traced back to one company. Do you remember what it's called, Kevin? Because you actually knew that.
Sona Management.
That's it.
It was $5,000, you guys.
Yeah,
$5,000
from 5 different people, but $1,000 is the max you can donate, right, to the campaign.
Right.
So I think they're just maxing out as many people as they could.
Yeah, I think maybe they were, because I still, like I say, I mean, this whole thing for me has been about trying to understand the inner workings of City Council in Concord. I wanted to understand what that was.
And in Vasona, just to real quick, it has 11. It's like the biggest corporate landlord here in Concord.
Wow. And also I learned they actually had to pay out $3 million for a civil rights violation.
They weren't letting kids play outside.
Yeah, exactly. It was an anti-family legislation. They had to pay out $3 million. So they're some cold-blooded bastards is what they are.
Oh, evil people.
Yeah.
And what kills me too is Pablo. If you go to his website, he's totally that guy that like is trying to be like, oh, I love family. And like, you know, look at me. I'm a Latino. And like, I can, you know, I'm totally on your side.
Oh, that's the weird part. What makes it so weird? Talk to me.
That's the worst part, that he's like, oh, I'm a Latino person, you know, and I'm for the people, and this and that. It's not true. I mean, the story that he keeps bringing back is about an old lady that cannot fill out a rent register form. Yeah, that's him. The story that's the only story that he keeps bringing back. Like an old lady that cannot fill out a rent register form. But there's a solution for that. Hire someone that could help people fill out these forms. Right? Now, the solution is not to bring back the whole ordinance and take away, you know, all the tenant protections for single family homes and raise the CPI for the rent cap.
Well, I mean, it's so crazy, man. Kevin, go back down. Come up. I want to see the family again. Bring down the family. That, like, how could you take that kind of picture, and you know full well that the people who are going to be harmed are the people in that picture. Like that's ridiculous to me. Like
he's literally bragging about working for labor unions.
He literally looks like a sore thumb. He looks like a sore thumb in that picture. Like, look at this guy. Like seriously. I mean, like look at all the other people and that guy. Like, look, he's totally, because he's money. That dude's money already.
He has been deeply involved in community affairs.
What's that mean? Explain.
It says he worked at a what is it? A nonprofit that focuses on immigrant, refugee, and low-income communities in Concord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah, it says right there.
Okay. Like, yeah. so the contradiction is really driving me crazy. It's going to bug my mind. I'm gonna be honest about it. Like, how's this guy swaying people? How's he doing it? Because he's got an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Or at least it should look like an uphill battle, but apparently somebody's bending because they actually like deducted 2 months away from the review. So the council actually said, okay, yeah, forget the year. We're gonna do it 10 months now. Who did that? Who pushed that button? Who pushed the council that way? You know, that's the thing I think is the interesting part of the story, because I do believe the same kind of things are happening in Oakland and San Francisco right now. We actually have these land developers who are able to trump shit. Right, you know what I mean, and so like I want to know as much as I can about this guy Pablo, but even more than that.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Scott Wiener, the state senator, who plays out to be progressive guy. Oh, I'm gay. I'm fighting for your rights and everything else. But he's the guy that pushed through the law that basically undoes any local control for any kind of buildings. And so now what do you get in San Francisco? You had a building that had a bunch of 60 low-income residents who were the building caught on fire. They were all pushed out. And do they get a new place to live? Are they going to replace the place? No, the state, because now the state is in control. They're not going to make them do anything. So that's going to be luxury apartments now. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're going to see, is more of this kind of backstabbing. Because what kills me the most about this is they didn't get the signatures for the referendum. Clearly, it's not popular. And yet the city council is ignoring this massive signal that the city doesn't want this. This is not democracy anymore.
Exactly. It's like you're ignoring the will of the people. Well said, Kevin. Well said. But also, and like, I mean, one of the things, like I was saying before, was like the whole way they're trying to trump it, the whole way they're trying to do that, but that couldn't be done without complicit actors.
Yeah.
Right. And so what is the likelihood, do you think, the vote's going to land in I'm going to say it this way, in our favor? What do you think the likelihood of that vote landing in our favor is?
I don't know.
Wow. Are they even talking with you? Are the city council members that supported it before and passed the vote, are they still in communication with you and telling you like, hey, no, we're trying to fight this. I don't know what's going on. What are you hearing from the city council?
Well, I mean, before it was, they were always like, the issue was always like, we don't have the third vote, right? And then what's it called? This a new council member, was elected, and then the housing element came in. So everything kind of went together. Like, yeah, we got a new council member that is on our side. Now we have the housing element, and they're actually asking the city to, have some protections for tenants, right? And then all of that came together, and then it was like, yeah, we finally have a third vote, But now, and then I know that Carlin, like Obringer, she was the fourth vote, but I feel like she kind of might be like she had never been on our side. We were surprised actually that she voted yes. So she could flip flop here. We don't actually have a third vote right now. I don't think so, especially with the Benavente. I really don't think that we do.
Wow. So what you're saying is, even in the past, it was a very tenuous relationship to begin with. Wow.
Yes. And he's going to undo it all.
Right now, we only have two council members that, aren't, still in favor of this rent control, but we still need another vote. And we don't know. I mean, Pablo, I think it seems like he already made up his mind. We don't know about Carla. We don't know what she's going to do right now.
Well, see, we keep coming back to Carla, though. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. We keep coming back.
I don't know. I just don't know what's going on with her. And then I think we need to have we need to sit down and talk to her and find out where she's at on this.
Well, so ultimately what we're talking about is like they created a swing vote situation. And who is this person, Carla? Who is this? She's
the mayor now.
Oh, what's her full name?
Carlin Obringer.
Obringer? Okay, yeah, I read about her. Okay.
Carlin. It's not Carlin, it's Carlin. Carlin O'Brien.
Carlin O'Brien.
Carlin.
Yeah, I read. Yeah,
it's a weird spelling.
It's a weird name, but basically what's happened is like you're just unsure about this final vote because somebody's been extremely ambiguous about it, right?
Yes.
Damn.
Oh, gosh.
Eggshells. Terrible.
And we should do a little background on Concord. So I mean, it is a suburb. It is, I mean, from San Francisco, even from Berkeley, you're looking close to like an hour drive, maybe 45 minutes, if you're lucky. And in the past 10 years, rents have gone up 60%.
62%, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's intense. And when you're thinking about wages not meeting that, and when you're also thinking about the fact that people are looking to the suburbs because they are being priced out or sized out of San Francisco and Berkeley, the main hubs, or the Oakland, that kind of thing. I mean, if you got a family to raise, I know this from personal experience, you got to have some space. And really, it's like it's always the goal is the house, And so you got more people moving out to the suburbs, to the edges, Walnut Creek, these kind of areas, Union City, Fremont, and all these things. You're both seeing, crackdown on rent controls or nothing like that. And you're also seeing harsh homeless encampment sweep ordinances like they just had in Fremont, where basically not only is it now illegal to camp on the sidewalks or the streets or whatever, if you help people that are clearly homeless, you could be fined thousands of dollars, even if you are a religious organization. So we're in this where it is just the harshest crackdown on the poorest. The people that just need a place to live.
Yeah, and everybody. I feel like these council members don't realize that American families right now, they're just one paycheck away from being homeless. Because if you get sick and you don't go to work for 1 week and you don't pay, you don't have that 1 week of pay, you could, lose your home.
Yes.
So the craziest part to me is that like the way that the wealth is being siphoned off and going to the wealthiest amongst us already, there's a high likelihood that what they're trying to do is just leave those houses and apartments empty.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like that's the part that it's so maddening to me, because what they're actually thinking is if there's nobody actually living in it, then you don't have to do maintenance, you don't have to buy a new stove, you don't have to replace the toilet, you don't have to it makes more money being empty, right? Yeah. I just can't like so this whole idea of what they're trying to do is they're trying to chase these people out who've actually been living in these apartments and paying this amount of money, and it's such a short-term way of thinking, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like this person is going to pay you this amount of money for 100 years. This person is going to pay you this amount of money for 3 years, and then suddenly they're going to move out, and you'll be able to raise it a little bit, and you can do it for another 3 years. Like it's just as far as I don't understand the end game of that, and it's kind of like something that always bothers me because it just seems that everything that happens as a result of it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and what bothers me the most is like for example, the rent control, right? It only applies to units. Buildings that are built before 1995.
Right.
And a lot of these units are freaking old already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real here. They're freaking old. Appliances are old. They're not spending new money on this. And now what they're doing, I hear them going to city council and cry about this, like, oh, I'm not making enough because my taxes are being raised and this and this and that. They pass those expenses down to the tenants.
That's right.
Okay? Like before your rent will like include the water, garbage, sewage, the electricity, that if you're living in a building and there's like a laundromat and you go there and then do the laundry, that was also included. Parking also was included. So what happens now? They not only raise your rent, but they take away those services that were included in your rent. So now you're going to have to pay for sewage, water, garbage, and maybe the air that I'm breathing too. It might be exaggerating, but they pass those expenses to the to the tenants.
Yes.
And even worse, they can write off taxes because it's a declining property. It declines in value. That's
Exactly.
It's like the same reason billionaires are buying sports teams is because it's a great tax write-off, because you're like, oh well, I'm losing money. Look, it's all this stuff is decreasing in value when it's not at all. It's all going up, but they can claim that.
Okay, so now my next question is, what can people do to stop this from happening?
Yeah. Betty, tell us how we can help.
Is there any way that the community can get involved? Phone calls, emails, letters? What would you suggest?
I think that that's what we need to do. Everybody, should write or call, emails, letters, phone calls, to the council members. This is something that everybody needs. All the renters in Concord are going to be suffering, for the whatever they're planning to do. And I'm thinking they just going to take away the single family homes. They're going to raise the rent cap. Right now, it hasn't been. We don't know if it's working because so many people still don't know about this rent control. And then,
what's the best way we could put pressure on the mayor? Because it sounds like that's what we're really talking about.
Call her out.
I'm going to put her on the screen right now. I have her ready to go.
And to be honest with you, we also want to have tenants have a meeting with Pablo. That's her. Yeah.
What a smile. And I know that hair needs to go back to.
Well, no, I'm just going to say she looks like somebody who would go to a country club. It's fine.
Yeah.
She sings country club,
Yeah.
but people should put pressure on her, I think, because I don't like the ambiguity of her position. Right? Yeah. If you stand against it, then stand against it. That's fine, right? Because at least I'll have the clarity to know where you stand. Right? I'm not going to vote. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, we get it. I'm not going to sit over here holding my breath thinking you're going to go this way or the other. Right? But the whole idea that she's keeping you guys on tenterhooks is problematic for me. You know what I mean? It's very problematic. And
I wonder too, how is the homeless situation in Concord right now? Are you seeing an increase in encampments? Is there anything with that going on? Because that's what you're seeing all around here. Along with this insane investment in real estate around here, we've seen in Oakland alone, it went from 140 homeless encampments in 2020 to over almost 1,500 now, or last year at least.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. So what are you seeing in the homeless side?
I started seeing a big increase, and I think that it was also on I forgot. I think it was Cron. I don't remember which news station had the percentage of the homeless population increased in Concord. But the sad part, I think, and then they're doing, I feel like the police are doing a dirty job, or whoever is doing the sweeps, because I don't see them. What happened to all these people that, are homeless? I see a few, but I don't think all these people that were on the streets all of a sudden got housing. I just don't believe that. And
they just move them one place to another.
Oh, wow. It's just but the thing is, you don't see them anywhere anymore.
Anywhere. Where are they? Right? Sadly, just I think it was a couple weeks ago, one person that was, unhoused passed away because of the cold.
Right. Yeah.
And you're going to see more of those stories too. Yeah. Especially what is the shelter situation too in Concord? Do these people do they have places to go even?
Well, the only shelters and there's only one shelter, and you could only be there, I think, for 6 weeks or so. And before, I seen people camping outside the shelter.
Right.
Camping outside because there's not enough beds.
Right.
You know what this is about, and you're gonna see this is going on all over the country, especially after the SCOTUS lawsuit. Grants Pass. Yeah, Grants Pass. This is landlords feel like they have all the right in the world to be as cruel as possible.
Well, they kind of do. right? They're
Yeah.
but because apparently, like, this is the thing that drives me crazy, because in a lot of ways, the recall of Pamela Price and the recall of Qingdao in Oakland, and more so than any of the others, was actually a land developers coup. That basically that's what it was. Is real estate coming in and trying to recall and reshape our government. And it sounds like they're doing the same thing in Concord too. Like, we talk a lot about the network state and fascists, like, Musk and all of that. But a part of that, I think, is the continuum of what's happening in the spaces where they're actually trying to buy us out. You know what I mean? And you have to ask the question, what do you want us for? Like, why do you want this suburb? Why do you want this particular like place where you consider poor, right? Why would you even want it? Like why do you want to be in the space that actually has the older buildings?
Yeah.
Right. Like, I thank you for the information, but I'm coming out just as confused as I went in. There's a lot of things just that still don't make sense. I mean, I understand it better.
I'm confused myself, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you would have seen me on Tuesday doing my public comment, I was pissed. I was like, why are you doing this right now? I don't understand. Just tell me.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And because too, it's working. It's saving people's lives. You've talked about there's that story that came out after, I believe it was NBC the local NBC affiliate spoke with you about how after the referendum failed to get enough signatures, you had, senior citizens coming up to you crying, so happy that they know they weren't going to lose their homes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Senior citizens, especially right now, I know the senior citizen, the Social Security that he's getting is not enough. So sometimes he doesn't have enough because he has to pay his rent before even thinking about what he's going to eat. So sometimes he doesn't have enough to buy food. He has to go to the church near him to get, pantry from there. But sometimes he's sick and he can't go, So to me, it's like, oh my God, it's like these stories are so real, and I see them every single day. And I think that's why it gets me more upset to know that these people are just dismissing the whole, all the stories of tenants, and seniors, young people, kids, that probably go to bed hungry because they're going to have to, pay. Either I pay my rent or I buy food, especially right now. I think I said it before. Freaking eggs are $13. Like, what the hell? If I don't want to cuss, but like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they don't care. They care about their paycheck. They get on TikTok and go, see this property, it pays for my BMW.
Yeah, no,
this property.
It's okay to just call them greedy bastards. I mean, I would I would like to know. I mean, like the thing is, the thing I love about working with Kevin and talking to people like you, is that we get a chance to talk across the political spectrum. We talk to the organizers, we talk to people with boots on the ground. We talk about tech fascism. We talk about real estate. We talk even about books and strategy. And so like being able to pull these things together is like. So when we're talking about something that actually feels like it's just Concord, it's not, right? And it just gets bigger and bigger, right? Because ultimately there's just a bunch of greedy bastards just trying to do us in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and that is so it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy.
Have you thought about protesting Vesana management? I mean, setting up out there and making yourself known that these guys are the bad guys, giving them some bad optics.
But it's only $5,000.
Yeah. But if they're the big ones, though.
Yeah, they're bastards.
I know they're the big ones, but I think the person that took the money, that person should be ashamed of himself for doing that. To me, I'm sorry to say, but I want to say cheap whore.
Oh, you don't have to want to say it. You can say it.
You can say it.
That cheap whore.
And we're all here for it. We are here for it.
Okay. Man, okay, I love this, but I gotta go, man. It's time to make dinner. This is a late one for me.
Yeah. But we really appreciate it, Betty, and all the work you do. We always talk about how we need to fight the good fight. You are truly one of these people that is fighting the good fight. That's why you deserve all the praise in the world.
Yeah, and what can we do? How can we stay connected to you? I know Kevin's going to do it, but sometimes people just do the pod. So can you articulate where you are and what we can do to help, like contact information or organizations that we can actually do to actually like join in the fight.
Do you need my email address?
No, like a website maybe, or
Oh, well,
EBASE, right?
Yeah, I'm with EBASE.
Yeah.
What is that? How do you reach that?
For a sustainable economy.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and I will get this up right now. It's actually I'll put up the Betty's wonderful picture.
Oh, thank you.
There we are. This is EBASE. This is the
see
whole
it.
crew. But
it's
honestly, this is a great organization. They're the ones, you know,
right
especially in places like Concord, Walnut Creek, stuff like that. Betty is in charge of the Contra Costa campaign, and you know that's a county that is ignored. You know, they don't get the attention. Sure, like Richmond will when there's like a fire at the refinery or something, you know. But like honestly, I feel like it's the redheaded stepchild of the Bay Area, of the East Bay. You know,
East Bay activism is the redheaded stepchild of East Bay activism.
Well, my job is to work on the ground with tenants to organize them. So, but there's we're a team of 4 people there.
Yeah,
but no, that's how we do it though. We're going to start small and just build our bases of support, all of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's something, I mean, Betty has had 2 jobs while doing this stuff too, just to be able to afford rent in the area. And she still has to live with her mom too. She sacrifices. So she deserves all our support.
I kind of wish I lived with my mom. That would be okay.
Sometimes it's not ideal though.
It's not the best. I get it.
They still treat you sometimes like you're like 18, not even 18, like 16.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, no, I'm not that age yet.
But you might be able to get a tuna sandwich with the edges cut off. You might be able to get that. You might be able to get a little bit of mac and cheese with some ketchup. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love it when my mom doesn't work and she makes dinner. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
That's right.
But also hear what you're saying too. All right. I would like to say thank you, and I really appreciate it. I think I'm just like I'm kind of like in shock a little bit, honestly.
Yeah,
because the thing is actually going to happen, and it's going to happen. There's not a damn thing we can do about it unless we fight back. It's just so crazy.
Well, now if people have the time, there is the city council meeting where the vote is going to happen. Can you give us that information for that city council meeting?
Absolutely.
We're thinking that on the 25th, I think they're just going to give directions to, because last Tuesday, one of the council members was not there. So they couldn't even like give directions to staff. So they're gonna discuss this on the 25th, and probably gonna give directions to staff. I don't know what they're gonna decide. There is no public comments at all, but I think calls, especially to the mayor right now, Scott, like you said, you know that's gonna help. I'm not sure what is it that we're probably gonna plan something, you know, like maybe a press conference or something before the meeting. We still don't know what we're gonna do, but in the meantime, we're just trying to like have a meeting with the Pablo Benavente and tenants in his district, so he could talk to them. You know, because those 2-minute public comment is not the same as, you know, being in the room with tenants the people that are actually impacted by this, the decision that we're gonna make on that day.
Yeah, but the guy's a plant though. So I mean, like, that really is the issue.
I know.
He's a plant, you know.
Well, hopefully you get enough people together, be like, if you do this, I will never vote you again. And hopefully that's the kind of primary the guy. Yeah, exactly.
I see that.
Put some fear into his heart.
Yes.
Yeah. But then, you know, like I think there was a lady that was there. She made a public comment like, okay, you know, if we didn't vote it for you, that, you know, that you're saying that you're not representing us because we didn't vote for you, that means we're just here. You're not gonna do anything for us. Like that is so doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
Because I didn't vote for you, it doesn't mean that you're still gonna fuck me over.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, dang.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Welcome to politics in the 21st century. Oh my God, brutal times. Well,
Yes,
again,
sir.
so let's all hope, people show up, get on your emails, get on your phones. Let's harass the hell out of the Concord City Council, because this is just not right.
Well, no,
And this
like,
is
and
something.
also that mayor, get her, make her make a statement, make a statement. She needs to explain why she is so ambivalent about this. That
Why
makes no
she
sense.
doesn't care about the poor residents. She clearly doesn't care about all the residents of her city.
Well, no, make her make the declaration is what I'm standing. Make her say, I don't care. Like you don't get a chance to eel through this. Like there are two sides of this issue. What side of this issue do you stand? Like that, like to me, like that's the thing that agitates me, confuses me. Is the fact that like you have this person who's a deciding vote and they already know what their vote is going to be and they're not telling the truth.
Yeah, because they don't want to get set up for this kind of criticism.
Yeah, but that's
exactly
crazy.
Right. That's why, and Scott, that's exactly why she needs to be confronted. What are you saying about this?
Where do you stand? Because the thing is, I need to organize around whatever your decision is going to be.
Yes,
definitely. Right, definitely. so if you're not even trying to give me fair ground, like if you say no, there's of course a direct action I have to do. If you say yes, there's of course an action I have to do.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I think we need more time. This is too early in for the ordinance to even for them to say that it's not working. We actually need more time for this.
Exactly. So I think let
it work on its own. It's still not. Hasn't been a year. Look, let this work. We just need more time. Why are you doing this right now?
Where do you stand? Exactly. Yes, yay or nay, Madam Mayor? Madam Mayor, yay or nay? And then we have to move on from that. The situation sucks. But what sucks even more is that ambivalence, the ambiguity, but that doesn't need to be there. The whole story fucks with my head because that ambiguity does not need to be there. It's not even really a story until that person takes a stand.
Yes.
Yeah. we need data. That's one thing that Pablo and her, they also keep saying. And every time they say we need data, to me, it's like, you don't give a fuck about anything. You don't want to do anything. But okay, you want data?
You've already made up your mind. You've already made up your mind. Just state what your mind is. So
exactly. Just say it. Why are you not saying it?
Just say it. All right. So listen. Okay.
And I just gotta say, this is much more for the companies about the principle that they don't want to be told what to do, that they just want to be able to do whatever they want to do.
Well, hey, you're more than welcome to do that, but then do it though. Stop being a coward and say this is what you're going to do.
Yeah, that too. All right. Well, anyway. This is an enraging episode.
Oh my God, my blood is so hot right now.
Well, let's ride this rage, this momentum.
Ride the rage.
I know. A week ago, I wasn't the person that I am right now. I was I'm meditating every morning just to keep going on my day because it's so.
It's crazy.
I completely agree. Right I completely understand. This is the kind of stuff that just is not fair. This is like Trump on a local level. Let's be real.
It absolutely is. No question.
It's Trump on a local level.
Absolutely.
And this is Republican stuff in the supposedly deep dark blue East Bay. So with that in mind, I will put all this stuff in the comments. If you need this information, please get involved. Every audience member, we don't have a lot, but if you just take the time to just write an email, it will make a difference. It will show that people are showing up and that people are pissed at this stuff. And also follow us on our socials. We'll keep you updated with what happens with it. And then, of course, if you have any time, please support our Patreon. Stop some tech fascism for sure. And support EBASE. It is a great organization. Clearly, if it's supporting somebody.
Tenants.
Yes,
support
the tenants.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
ma'am.
Number one, support your tenants. Yeah, support renters for Christ's sake. And until the next time,
keep fighting the good fight.
Keep fighting the good fight.
Working families too.
Yeah.
Thank you.